Patreon.com/the Walk-Off Podcast. $4 a month gets you in there.
If you're watching this right now and you haven't hit the like button, Billy, get on it. Bug your brother. Tell him to do the same.
Trevor Richards goes into the game yesterday in the 8th inning.
Ooh, yeah.
6-0 lead. All he has to do is just get it across the plate, get the ball in play. He could not do that. He could not even get an out. They wind up scoring 3 runs to make it a much closer game than it should have been. The bullpen gets used a little bit more. So my question to you is, Trevor Richards' rope has got to be getting shorter. You could probably even say the same thing for Tim Mayza. And the past couple years, it was about deploying the pen in a way where you could massage the weaker guys out of the rotation when you can. You know what I'm talking about? Like just if a guy was struggling, it was on Montoyo or Schneider to try and find a way to not play them or to use them in the lowest leverage situations you could.
Yep.
So to come back to the question I was going to get to, how much shorter is this Trevor Richards rope? Knowing that there are 5 very viable options already on the 40-man roster that could be called up in Junior Fernandez, Jay Jackson, Hagen Danner, Nate Pearson, and of course, Yosfer Zulueta. Do you think that they are going to continue to strut Richards out there, or do you think that this is something that we could see come to a head as soon as the next week or two?
Next week, I would say no. Next week or two, perhaps. Yeah, the hottest of hot seats for Trevor Richards. You mentioned Tim Mayza. I know he had the really rough first outing. I think he's settled in nicely since then. That April 4th game against the Royals, I think it was was that the Kikuchi game? I don't know. He had faced 4 batters, had 4 strikeouts. So
yeah,
with Tim
and he looked
Mayza,
good.
there is definitely like reason to be optimistic. Trevor Richards, 2 ugly outings. And this is from a guy who was probably already at the bottom of the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
As far as...
Yeah, he was on thin ice. You had to feel like Trevor Richards was on thin ice.
So I would say Meza is going to be with us for a while, being, I think, the only lefty in the pen.
Yes.
And he's had good success with us in the past. He's already shown it this year, like 4 batters, 4 strikeouts in the one game. The numbers, I think, look worse than they are on the season through 4 outings. But Meza's sticking around. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. Richards, we got this West Coast trip here to LA. We'll get to this later. But after that, we come home to Toronto for a little bit of a stint. And it is it's just 3 games against the Rays, and then we're heading back on the road for Houston, New York. So, I don't know. It's maybe
this
next
front
week.
Office.
Here's the thing: AAA season is underway now.
Yes.
So we're going to start seeing performers putting themselves on the map, on the radar, down in Buffalo, right? So before the AAA season had started, it's easy to just say, well, we still don't really know who's ready to roll yet.
Yes.
Right? But let's just say his name, if Nate Pearson is in AAA and he's hitting 102, 103, 101, whatever it is, and he's
mowing through AAA
guys, and then you're going, well, this has got to be better than what Richards is giving us right now.
Mm-hmm.
Then it gets tough to ignore at that point. And whether it's, again, put any name you want in there, Hagen Danner, or there's just
Junior Fernandez had
so many options at AAA.
Yeah,
so
there
whichever
really are.
You only need one guy to have a good first week in AAA, and now that starts to look really appealing when you're strutting Trevor Richards out against the Houston Astros, against the New York Yankees in the back half of April here. So
truly the only thing holding the Blue Jays back from moving on from Trevor Richards is the fact that they probably will lose him on the waiver wire. And you know that this front office is all about asset management. This is not something that they would want to do, is give up an arm for nothing that could be productive down the road. But at some point, you almost got to just take your losses, especially when there are 5 viable guys that are on the 40-man roster. And that's another thing to really keep in mind here with these gentlemen we just named, is that there isn't going to be shuffling on the roster. You don't need to make room for them. This is as easy as calling down to Casey Candela in Buffalo and being like, hey, we need Zulueta. Send him in.
Bring him up.
Right? Bring him up.
Trevor Richards looks like the oldest reliever we have with all that silver hair he's got. Do you know
He's
how old
only
he
30,
is?
though.
29. Yeah, he turns
Is he
30
only
this
29?
summer.
Yeah, he's not even 30. Hilarious.
Wow, that's crazy. I would have guessed at least like 34 or 35 or something. But yeah, 29 years old. Nice.
Well, there's
silver hair.
actually a tweet that went viral back in 2021 when the Jays first acquired Trevor Richards, and he was actually doing really well. And one of the folks on the Toronto Blue Jays official fan Twitter site posted Trevor Richards, and they're like, somebody had responded, who is this old man? And then someone below it had posted, he's not old, he's 28. And the person was like, how do you know? And then it was his wife. It was Trevor Richards' wife. And he's like, I know because I'm his wife.
Oh man, that's rough. That's funny. Good for her.
Right? There you
Trevor
go.
Richards, one of the 2 pitchers we got back for Rowdy Tellez, for anybody
Yes.
keeping track. Bowden Francis being the other one. So
Now, as for Tim Mayza, I think you really did hit the nail on the head when you were just like, listen, there's still too much upside for them to truly consider DFAing this dude. Like, there's no other options in the minors either for a left-handed pitcher. So unless you feel that you can pick somebody up, like if there's someone that the Jays prefer on waivers, maybe we see something happen. But I don't think this is a thing until maybe as late as the trade deadline, unless Tim Mayza completely starts Tyler Chatwooding it. I think we're fine. Or his spot's safe anyways. Maybe we're not fine, but
yeah, it looked like pitch speed was up a bit in his last outing too. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but felt like he feels a little bit of urgency. Again, I don't think there is urgency there. I want Meza being the best version of himself, but I don't think he's running out of rope in the next month. But I think Trevor Richards good.
Yeah.
Especially like if we get into a situation because we got Angels, Tigers, he's safe for this week coming up. Then we got the Rays before we head out and face the Astros and the Yankees. If we go through 6 competitive games with the Astros and Yankees, where there are 6 opportunities to put in Trevor Richards, and every time John Schneider is like, I just can't do it. That seals his fate, doesn't it? Where you're like, this game isn't out of hand yet, or we only have a 4-run lead. We can't put Richards out there, have him give up 3 runs to the Astros or to the Yankees, right? Like we can't
if
risk
John
it.
Schneider, if John Schneider, April 7th, today, Friday, has lost confidence in Trevor Richards at this point in the season, writing's on the wall. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
Okay.
So we'll see where it goes from here. But yeah, I that was just one thing that I really wrote down in the show notes. It was just like, I really want to get a temperature gauge on where you're at on Trevor Richards and how much rope he has. And I think we're in the same boat. It's a week or two. Like he has 2 or 3 more starts out or more calls out of that bullpen. And if he can't perform, I think it's done.
Here's his real value right now, to me anyways. It's in his ability to pitch multiple innings.
Yes.
Not good innings,
No.
but we saw it. It was the April 2nd game. That was the 9-4 loss to the Cardinals. He went out and pitched 2 innings. Now, Sometimes you just need a guy that can go out there and take punches, right? Protect the rest of the bullpen. Save Eric Swanson for tomorrow. Save Adam Simber for tomorrow. You know, like, just that's the thing, is we do have, and we'll get to it, some pitchers who sometimes you need 4, 5, 6, 7 innings from your bullpen that day. And
Well, the real wild card here, and probably the real deciding factor as to how long Trevor Richards is a member of this Toronto Blue Jays team, is Mitch White. And the quicker Mitch White gets healthy, the faster Trevor Richards either needs to figure it out or is gone. Because this team needs a long man. They need a guy who can be some insular depth within, who can log some innings, like you just said. And that is Mitch White. That's why they went out and they got Mitch White out of LA. That's why they have built Mitch White up like they have. And I think as soon as he's healthy and ready to go, if Trevor Richards isn't pitching well, it's done.